G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is an MCPR 300. That is a multi-caliber precision rifle 300, and 300 is denoting the type of rounds that this thing fires, which are exclusive to this mod. You must craft them and the weapon in order to use this. The 300 normal rounds, there they are, the big ones. But what you're looking at here is yet another Call of Duty ported weapon. This one is based off a real-life firearm called the Barrett MRAD. So if you are familiar with that rifle in real life, you probably pick some easy differences here on this Call of Duty home brand variant of it, usually to avoid licensing issues and such, but it looks the part. It looks like a Barrett just from a glance, which is nice. But what this thing is in real life is called a Barrett MRAD, which is basically an improved version of the Barrett M98B. They can do a little bit different. They've got a folding stock and they can take the barrel out easier out on the field and stuff, and they can chamber it in different rounds instead of just the 338 Lapua rounds that the M98B would fire. So that's really cool. That is in Battlefield 3 and 4. That's why I call it an M98B when I really shouldn't. But regardless of that, it's a really cool sniper rifle. Custom animations, custom sounds. We'll get to those when we get to those. But for now, let's go over the attachments. And the most strongest, most powerful receiver you can get onto this is advanced. There's also a calibrated powerful option if you feel like it, which is okay, I suppose, but there's a huge damage difference between the advanced and the calibrated powerful there, so I don't see myself using the calibrated powerful at all, even for a critical sort of build. Right now, we've got the standard barrel, but you could have different barrels, including an integrally suppressed one, which will increase your range despite having a shorter barrel and presumably subsonic rounds to make them make less noise after they're fired. I don't really know, but you get more range out of this thing. You can make it a 22-inch, which doesn't increase your range any further, but I think that may have added a muzzle slot because now we're straight into optics, which we've got iron sights on right now. You can have, remember the Karak 300? Well, that scope you can attach onto this. That's cool. 13 times scopes. There's some lesser scopes if you want to use this thing more of a close range. There's also a couple of versions with the STS, that is see-through scope variant of that. So if you want to proper Fallout 4 TOD style TV scope, you can have those, but the option of having a see-through scope is there, which is great. I love that. You can give yourself the extra use, or if you've got a preference over another, you're not stuck one way or another, so that's great. There's also versions with 9.5, 6x6. There's even discount dollar store ACOGs you can throw onto this one, called an SZ Bullseye optic. Even though it's usually a 4x scope, this one is giving you 6x, which is nice, sort of a mid-range scope. And something for a little bit more closer, here's one with a 3.4x magnification, but we're gonna go for a hardcore 13 times magnification. I want to tell their eye color also. I'm sniping at them, damn it, that's important to me. We'll kill all the people with brown eyes first because they're the devil, myself included. Anyways, so you can throw some grips on. There's one that has a little bit of red at the back. Quite like that. Looks ergonomic. We'll throw that one on. And you'll probably find that they've got very generic Call of Duty things that don't really factor into how the gun might perform in Fallout 4, but I guess there's a little bit of flavor text there if that's your thing. You can throw on some bipods, many bipods. We'll go with that one, level aim bipod. Hopefully it comes with a little bubble over on the side so I can level it properly. And you can throw on some muzzle attachments, which we can't see right now, but there are options of either muzzle brakes, possibly compensators, and also suppressors, which will increase your range due to extra barrel length. That's good. But you'll also notice that some of these usual things that would reduce your range, the muzzle brakes will actually increase your range. So rather than having just a zero muzzle on your thing, you actually want to choose something that might actually help you reduce the recoil as well. So I think that's kind of cool, whether that's intended or just something that just sort of happened by happenstance. There's been a few updates of this thing, and one of them talked about, okay, the range is fixed now, but there you go. So if you want to chuck on a muzzle brake, you're going to get rewarded for extra range. That's excellent. We're going to throw on the F-Tac Reaper on this one, though. It's going to be a suppressed sniper rifle, and you can throw lasers on this side of the rifle if you feel like it. Plenty of different lasers, all with lots of... Hang on, that's a canted one. Okay, now that I've got this selected, this will block all of your optics and you'll aim along the laser sight. So that's going to completely invalidate the script that I put on it. So we won't use that one, but this one is cool, right? Yeah, there's plenty of Call of Duty extra ones here. Looks like there's a couple of green beam options and blue beam options as well. That's cool. Pick your poison there, whatever color you want. And there's some different bolts you can throw in, which makes it look different. It's on the other side of the rifle. I have to scroll all the way down to actually see it. But this one's a smooth bolt, so that'll make us better somehow. And you can make the magazine standard 5 rounds or 15 rounds, which has a lot of bullets in them and we'll be able to fire for a long time without reloading. And it's quite a good amount of fire that we get out of a rifle, I think. And you can change the stock on this. You can barely see them just because of how long the rifle is, but that one looks cool, so we'll throw that one on. And that brings us to the blueprints. Now, this is the same sort of blueprint setup you can get in Call of Duty, where you can have different sort of models and textures. Oh, sorry, textures and models are the same, would you believe? But yeah, some of these you can just put a little bit of extra paint on them. And if you want to have these in their presets, there's ways to actually craft them. But again, we'll get to crafting a little bit later on. Also, a damage modifier is there if you need it, and I believe that covers everything. Yes, legendary effect provided by legendary modification, but we will not be using it because over 1100 damage, that's a pretty good start. We should be able to one-shot everything if we sneak critical. Maybe not so lucky if we're outside of sneak critting, but that's a good start. Not too, I'm actually keen to see how this goes. So on your chemistry workbench, find weapon, MCPR 300. You can craft the rounds, 2 lead and 5 steel give you 10 rounds. That's some good bang for your buck. You can craft a normal one, body count, duster, nocturnal hunter, sequoia, and watchdog. So sure, let's get a few of these things. We'll see how we go. And then we gotta craft some ammo. Alrighty, so here we are outside of the Immersive Gunners Plaza. Here is our Barrett MRAD, MCPR 300 in first person. And the bash animation looks like this. It doesn't blow up cars in one hit, so it's not a warfighter weapon. You can put that down. And I think there's a super mutant behemoth around somewhere. Actually, I think they've aggroed the blood bugs. Let's see if we can hit these spindly bastards from back here. That's pretty good. That was pretty accurate. I mean, it's a hit scan weapon, so all I need to do is to click on them, and we've got such a gigantic zoom in that they should be pretty hard to, or easy to find, should they not be flying too fast. Here's the reload animation, by the way. That blood bug's going in. Good luck to him. And he goes down like that. Taking a quick look at this thing in third person, it's a pretty well-sized weapon. It's not desperately oversized. It looks pretty good in proportion. Honestly, it's kind of about the same size as a combat rifle, at least perhaps lengthwise with a suppressor. So very well made and scaled. So that's really cool. And the animations seem to be really good both in first and third person. Let's talk about the other ones that I made, because usually I make a few so I can test out a wide variety of things, but today I've let the mod author decide what I'm doing. Now, the only difference that I've done with these ones, which are all templates, by the way, they're all the all of the preset blueprints I've made. I've just made the receivers advanced, so they're all doing the maximum amount of damage they can. So this one appears to have a long scope with a integral suppressed barrel, 5-round magazine. This one here got that desert tan going on with a muzzle brake at the front, so this one will be loud and proud with a cool scope, microwave on top. And it's even got like some cool hexagonal sort of patterns on the front of that scope. Is that to eliminate scope glint? It might be, you know. Next one up is going to be a close range variant because there's no scope on this. Integral suppressor yet again with an 8-round magazine. That's kind of interesting. There's the behemoth, by the way. He goes down in one shot. So, you know, even if we are sort of out of range on this thing, we can do a pretty good job at dropping targets over a long distance. This next one is a tree branch, but it turns out it's actually a sniper rifle at the same time. So yeah, whatever tree we cut that down from was an interesting one. Probably a wasteland FEV irradiated tree that produces sniper rifles. Lastly, we've got this one, which has a little bit of greenness on it, but unfortunately for it, it's basically the same as the one that I made on the workbench before, so I don't think we'll be seeing too much of this one, but it definitely looks cool. Perhaps its scope is different. No, it's about the same. And look at this wild scope sway. That's the 13 times scope, and unless I'm holding my breath, and I gotta wait a second or two for that to stabilize, our bullets could be flying everywhere or anywhere. if we put them in the wrong spots. And let's begin. No more dilly-dallying, let's get straight into it. I suppose when utilizing a weapon like this, sneak criticals, I could probably just get away with hitting nothing but chest shots and that'll do the job. But if I do see the occasional headshot, I'll take it just for the, you know, satisfying explosion of their entire face. And as they're coming closer, let's use VATS for a little bit. Don't worry about the turret. That turret's not important. I suppose we can pick up a few extras if we want. We'll see how we go. Okay, so it looks like VATS is bugged in this thing somehow. We've got a laser sight to improve our hipfire accuracy, so we don't have to aim down sights over range. But now the jig is up, as we get an idiot savant proc for all of the stormtroopering that I did a second. So no more sniping. It is now time for fighting, and perhaps the scope is a little bit too powerful here. There's a ricochet kill for you. We'll try to nail some headshots, or at least get the headshots so I can kill him with a follow-up torso blow. These gunners are eating their wheat bix today. Some of them will probably survive 50 cal to the face. Actually, they will if it's fired from a vanilla game hunting rifle. So things are going pretty well so far. We've been able to keep these guys at bay for the most part, but I'm noticing there's just... I don't know if it's just my poor aim or whether this thing has more spread if I take up follow-up shots that are too fast and I'm just not hitting targets when I feel like I really should be, and they're throwing grenades at me now. I feel like this bit of car is not giving me the cover I need. Maybe I should just slow down my sniper shots a little bit, make sure it works. I think that just smacked on the car's roof because it's a Todd Howard hitbox. There we go. As they're coming in closer, we can probably do a good job at keeping them down away. Actually, those guys are reluctant to advance, which is really playing into my favor. Next rifle. Listen to this thing loud and proud. Sounds pretty cool. It's definitely a Call of Duty sound. Perhaps more reverb would do this thing well. And I guess, I don't know, I'm just a sucker for reverb on weapon gun firing sounds. Just ask this one. If we get a bash kill, we don't even get to see the animation. We'll just give it one of these. There we go. That's the bash kill animation. The bashing animation. You know, considering that we are fighting in close quarters right now, I think this is the best time to bring this out. If I can just find where the front of the side is. Did I set that guy on fire? Did I? No, surely not. No, I don't know what set him on fire. Did he get hit by a friendly Molotov? Don't really know. So I'm thinking what I might be able to do with the Einsight version as well. That's a baby gun. I'll just take him out. If perhaps we don't skip over too many VATS shots, I think this is just completely broken with gun fu. We got a free reload in VATS, so that's pretty helpful. I think tactical showed up for a second as well, but yeah, it looks like every second target just won't hit. Let's try to observe this again. Yep, just completely skips over him. Whether the AP is consumed for that shot, I'm not really sure. We're not using a particularly high amount of AP with this particular variant anyway, so maybe it'll be okay. Come on, mouse. Look, I've been having real problems with the mouse, and I think the software on this thing as well. So I could look, I use a Razer Death Adder Elite mouse, and it's never let me down before, except for on this computer. This computer, I don't know whether it's Windows 11, which is causing these errors in the software, but if it is, then that's really irritating because it's cost me some games in Fortnite, and that's just, it's terrible when your software lets you down. But that's one of the reasons why I didn't bother switching over to Windows 11 back when I used to run my stealth. But unfortunately, my current what's it called, GE78 Raider. That's the model of it. Unfortunately, it come with Windows 11 Pro stock, which is annoying. I would have liked to keep Windows 10. Look, I'm okay with moving on sometimes, but honestly, when you cause issues like that's like a reason why I don't want to move on from it. And I swear I have one of these ones. I believe the tree branch is the one with the actual see-through scope, which is good because I'll be able to see around the scope a little bit more. You cheeky bastard. I was about to chirp myself with my terrible aim, but nope, just more Todd Howard hitboxes. That's fine. So, we've done pretty well. No surprise that a hit scan rifle with a lot of magazine capacity, the rate of fire obviously as a bolt action sniper isn't that great, but it's done a pretty good job here at sorting out the immersive Gunner's Plaza, and granted I did get a level up to give me a cheap little heal. It's done a pretty good job at holding its own, I think. And now we can open up this. We're probably going to get detected as soon as we open the door, as you'd expect from a group of gunners at this kind of range. That's better. And a quick no-scope finishes off there. So, yep, I think you get the idea. I mean, you're going to be hitting for about maybe the same as a suppressed Gauss rifle. Obviously, the Gauss rifle, you can just VATS things way faster than this possibly could, but I don't know, perhaps you might find that the base damage on this thing is a little bit too over the top for your tastes, and then just use a lesser receiver if it is, or reduce the damage on that slider. But I'd say it's pretty balanced. It's not blowing my enemies away. I still have to put some effort into killing these gunners, and it definitely helps when I do actually hit those shots, but yeah, it's pretty good. And classic holstered weapons. Perhaps I need to reinstall it because nothing's showing up. Also, you might notice there's a bit of movement going on in the lower regions there. And I've been messing around with the weight triangle sliders because previously they're all set to very, very thin, all of my characters, and they just looked just not athletic or very strong at all. So I've been messing around with the weight sliders, and I've made Winter a little bit more built as well. But the problem here is it's made our ass really big. Like, really, really big. Maybe that's not a huge deal for some, but honestly, that's distracting at this point. Especially when I've got these mods that I need to uninstall. Like, they don't do anything. They probably slow the game down. I think what I should do is just find a physics preset that doesn't look like you've got jelly hanging on your ass. I don't know if there's any out there, but yes, the nice little backflip there from the Mr. Swan. What we'll do is we'll just sit here and snipe at him and get all these cheap shots and hopefully not miss anything like I did just now. And if we go for his head, we will be in good shape. He's mutated already. Unfortunately, you can't see his health bar until I mention it, of course. The problem is, though, sometimes when you knock him down like that, he can fall through the earth and then the fight's over. So we'll just try to keep him nice and on the ground. Not that I'm really seeing too much foliage. And now we're on. Alright, let's see what else we can do here. Wonder if it skips every second shot in VATS on a single target. I think it may have. And stop it. We'll just run around the corner. Here's another thing that'll sort of be an interesting sort of balance point. This thing is totally, like, it takes a week to bloody reload the thing. I'm almost convinced that I should just be using a different weapon every time I just rechamber it, just because of how slow it is. Anyways, they're going to throw a rock at me, so I want to finish this off nice and quick. So having a magazine with 5 rounds in it is going to be very costly to your overall DPS. So I am thankful that there's going to be gigantic 15-round magazines in this thing, just to make it a little bit more viable and not having to reload it every 2 seconds. I'm very surprised this thing doesn't do more bash damage, but we are using a folding stock, I suppose, so that might change it. But There we go. That's pretty good. I'm gonna do something. I'll be right back. All right, let's shoot some raiders, and then we'll fire at a gigantic crab, and we'll hopefully kill them without even being spotted once. Although that's kind of unlikely, but we'll see how we go. And we can sort of test this thing's accuracy. We're going to be one-shotting everything, so I don't think we'll need to worry about hitting headshots or anything, but we'll just begin. We'll just get started and see how we go. I missed there. I think we got it too high? Why am I missing? That was weird. I don't know why I missed all those shots. I swear my aim was true there. And if I'm missing shots that I shouldn't be, then I can just blame the weapon for all of my terrible aim, and that'd be fine. Anyways, things are going pretty well here, as you'd expect. These are only little basic raiders. In fact, that's a level 1, so you get the old Call of Duty no-scope. Same with your spotlight. And now, we can find a Milo Queen. Headshot? Not quite. The secondary follow-up will do the job. And now on to the main meat of today, which is going to be the crab. Now, that was just a little bit of an aim warm-up. So, a little bit of inconsistency. I'm not sure whether that was just either my bad aim, Todd hitboxes, or just other nonsense. But we'll get his attention by firing at his legs. They're not armored there at all. And he just launched into space. Did you see that? Blink and you missed that one. Okay, I guess we'll shoot something else. Nah, screw it. I'm not having it. We're doing this again. And this time we're going to get the Milo Queen's attention and then one-shot her directly in the face. Yes, that first shot was definitely meant to go off to the side and get her attention. Yes, yes, yes. And Big Crab, where is he? Oh, he's already out. I didn't expect him to be running this far in. I think he was ready for the fight this time. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to team rocket you again, buddy. Now, let's see what this thing can do with maximum criticals. Look at that screen flashing up. That was not as many criticals as I was guaranteed, damn it. Never mind. Look at those. That's so much damage. Alright. Should be able to do the rest of this fight and back off, mate. Rest of this fight just using the standard Iron Sights version, I think. And I suppose I should just use VATS whenever I can. I've got all of the shots to do it, although only half of these are going to be hitting. This is all like real-time combat, and no, don't you dare. I'm surprised the gun bashing animation is enough to stagger the bastard. Okay, that's Nerd Rage now. All of that time in Nerd Rage I'm wasting rechambering the weapon. And there's your kicker, I suppose. And he's coming in for the big old charge. Is he going to drop straight down? Not quite. We've got one crit left. That might be enough to do it. We'll see how we go. Hell yeah, it is. Augmented with Nerd Rage. So, got a little bit close for comfort there, but I'm actually utilizing Gun Bash like I should have been, like from the get-go. But, you know, I used to do it back on PS4 because it was one of the bumper buttons, but I never got around to it. I only ever use Alt for steadying scopes and stuff in Fallout 4. But, look, I think you get the idea. So that there was the Barrett MRAD, also known as the Multi-Caliber Precision Rifle 300, and it is well worth a look. If you're into this gun in Call of Duty, then you want to check it out, because basically it's from COD, but you get to use it in Fallout 4 and shoot raiders and super mutants with it. You can see the appeal in that, can't you? But I do think it's a pretty good gun. I also checked whether I got classic holstered weapons up to the latest thing, and it is. So maybe there's a bunch of skinned models in there that is causing all of that nonsense with not showing up. But other than that, it's a really solid weapon mod, well made. What would I suggest to improve it? Perhaps, I don't know, making it so that the bullets are going to hit exactly where you're aiming at 100% of the time, and that might just be a design choice so they don't do that, or for some reason when the bullets don't actually get out the barrel properly, or they just miss when you've got your crosshair right on the center of mass. A little bit frustrating, but perhaps we can just wave that away. That was a bug, that's fine. But perhaps making the VATS more consistent so we're not skipping every second shot could be a priority. But other than that, really solid weapon mod, and any nitpicks that I do have are pretty much sort of overtaken by just the quality of it and how well it's put together. So a definite recommendation from me. Thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.